Hello everyone and welcome to DBF1. It is the final night of Season 7. We have had 9 weeks of racing. We've had 17 Grand Prix this year and we have got 2 more to come. We are at the Las Vegas Strip for round 18 of the season. It's currently the man in second in the championship, Jenga Boy, on provisional pole with a 31.4. Cam K has crossed the line in the second row of the grid with a 31.8. And tonight is the night. One more night, 2 more races to decide who will be crowned Season 7 champion. There's only 2 in it, and it's the top 2 on your screen. Casper leads the championship, but he's in second place by 1 point. Tonight we have got 52 points available. Who will do it? Will Jenga Boy be able to reclaim the lead of the championship? He was in control of the championship for 6 weeks of the season. Lost the championship lead last week at Monza in the 50% with the extended points. Kieran won the Grand Prix, and it was Casper who took the lead of the championship. So, as we come into tonight, the top 2 in the championship, Casper 259 points. He needs 1 point over to clinch the championship. Jenga Boy 258. He's 1 point behind now as Acorn gets a bit of slipstream off the back of Jenga Boy, coming to complete his lap. He's got 2 corners to go now. Does Acorn? He's currently in a battle for the top 5 of the DBF1 Championship. It'll be great for him if he can secure that. But round the final corner, he will go around Las Vegas, and it's into 7th place. We'll see if he can improve later on. Baza now on his lap. We'll stick with Baza. So, continuing the championship order, Casper 259, Jenga Boy 258, 1 point between the pair of them. Jess a wee bit further back on 204. Then you got Kieran on 177. Then you got Jordan on 144 with Deck on 136. Lewis Craig 134. Scottish Goat on 126. And then you got Chris Johnson and Daniel P. Wheelnut. They are tied on 116 points, and Baza in his final ever night of DBF1, he's only got 2 qualifying sessions to go, will not set a lap time. He put it into the wall, and that is him out of qualifying, so he'll start no better than 13th. And you'd imagine the man that's won 4 Grand Prix in the last 9 and the last Grand Prix we've had will qualify above. He just needs to literally set a time. So Baza will be starting 14th in his penultimate Grand Prix before he heads off to retirement from the league. And Kaya's in the chat, so welcome to Kaya joining us for the championship finale. And it's not just the Drivers' Championship. We have got the Constructors, the Manufacturers' Championship to play for as well. And the top 3 can win that. You have got Red Bull leading the way, 340. And then you've got Audi, which is Kick Cyber, they're on 330. So it's 10 points between the top 2. You've got Racing Bulls a bit further back, 315. Only Jenga Boy representing those guys tonight. So it's a big ask for the Racing Bulls to be crowned champions. And if I'm not mistaken, they'd be the only 2-time champ. They're the only 2-time champions in DBF1 history. And Racing Bulls looking to become 3-time champions as Kieran 31 flat goes on pole by 4/10 of a second. That is lightning pace from the Alpine. The man that's been so good in the second half of the season since he joined the league. And there's talks and rumours that if he joined for the whole season just like Casper, he'd be in that championship hunt, and you would have to agree. Kieran now looking to make it 5 from 10. It's currently 4 from 9 for the Scotsman as Jess Games now on her lap. She's battling Kieran for 3rd place in the DBF1 Championship. She wants to hang on to that top 3 status, and she is purple through sector 2. She needs to find around about 9/10 of a second, so I'm not sure if the split times on the track map are telling us the truth, but we'll see what her time will be as she closes up now to turns 14, 15 and 16. Brake late as you possibly can, swing the car in, hit the curb on the left and right, don't clip the wall on entry or exit, and has looked clean for Jess. obviously won the Las Vegas Grand Prix in Season 6. She's looking to repeat the fact in Season 7. Round that final corner now, into the top 6 she goes. Lewis Craig has just popped himself up onto the front row of the grid with a 31.6. So that's a 4/10 of improvement on time from Lewis. So that first lap was clearly just a banker. I think Chris Johnson is on a lap here now, next up to set the charge. Chris Johnson now tied 9th in the Drivers' Championship, will be solely 9th after tonight regardless of what happens, because he will score at least 1 point on Daniel, who's not here. Now, he's got a lot more battery to play with than Jess as he comes through 15 and 16 now. Only 17 to go. We're on board with the McLaren. It's the 9th place at the moment. He'll be looking for around about 7th or 8th. Round the final corner goes Chris, and it is 8th for the time being, and that is 4/10 of improvement. So the lap times are getting quicker. I think Jenga Boy is on a lap. There's a Mercedes of James ahead, and I think there is a Williams of Jordan ahead as well, but we'll stick with the man in second place. The man in second place in qualifying and in the championship. And as you can see, running number 86 on the card tonight. Everyone running 86 and the Welsh flag in honour of Baza, who will be, after 7 long years in 104 Grand Prix, leaving us. And that is provisional pole for Jenga Boy, and he is doing everything he can to make this fight a real and truly big fight. And the man that needs a big fight here in this qualifying session, it's 4/10 of improvement through the first through the first sector. This might be the new provisional pole time, as long as Casper doesn't make any mistakes. Now he's into turns 7, 8 and 9, and now it's down the back straight. Use all of that battery you can. Open the DRS in a few meters time, and it will be open now. That'll give him 12 miles per hour, 18 kilometers an hour extra speed down the Las Vegas Strip, as he'll brake as late as he possibly can. Avoids the curb unlike Jess, and just has to avoid the wall on the exit now. It's plain sailing for Casper. Use all the battery that the car will allow you to on the run up to the line. He's got no deployment available anymore, and it is provisional pole by an absolute mile. 4/10 of a second to Jenga Boy, and the championship leader showing that this is the night that he will be crowned champion if he can do it. Casper, been such a great season, only finished on the podium all season, bar Belgium, where he finished 15th. It was a nightmare Grand Prix to start his season, but it's been all trophies and champagne since. Teammate not setting a quicker lap. Deck is coming into the pits. Is Scottish Goat improving? No. And Gamer J, yes, so this is the lull in the session now before we get going again. So 13 laps to come, with the last runs just being prepared. 6.2 kilometer circuit here in Nevada, USA. And every single time we've had a DBF1 race around Las Vegas, it's been chaos. Race 1 we had back on F123, it was pouring rain, and only 3 of the 18 drivers finished the race. We had to do half points and redo the race later on in the season. Then last season we had the carnage that allowed Jess to come up and pick the victory as well. Jess will be looking for a repeat of season 6, and if she can do that, that would be absolutely massive. And yeah, everyone in the pits now. This is the moment before we get going. One final run for everybody. Everyone in the pit lane, and we've got cars starting to leave. I think that's Lewis Craig will be the first, so he'll have the honour of being in the fastest lap. And the 86 on every single car you can see is just a wee tip of the hat to Baza for being part of the Dive Bomb family for so long. 104 Grand Prix after tonight. 7 years, 1 win, 1 podium, maybe a win or a podium tonight would be fantastic. He won't get a final run in his qualifying. He never got any runs. He put it into the wall on lap 1 of his session. Lewis Craig, the only driver out on track at the moment. He's wanting to get his lap done early, maybe thinking the shenanigans of previous around this track. It is best to get the lap done. And everyone now peeling out the pit lane, and you'd imagine won't run into any traffic now that everyone seems to be leaving. And then Lewis might have to slow down on this opening lap, and he won't want to lose any tyre temperature, though, is the only thing. Because everyone peeling out into Sector 1 now, Lewis Craig might end up catching him in that Aston Martin. But he is a driver looking to be in the top 5. He is 10 points behind Jordan. Jordan in 12th place at the moment. Lewis, been a poor season. He wanted to be in the championship fight, or at least in the top 3 fight, and it's not gone his way. The reverse grids in the first half of the season cost him dearly. But it's been a very good second half of the season, and he'll be wanting to keep that and get a top 5 finish. But we're underway on Lewis Craig's penultimate final qualifying of the season. Through turn 1 goes the Flying Scotsman, probably the best driver we've had to not win a championship now. Round the right hand side, that is turns 4. Down the straight now, one of 2 DRS zones open up the rear wing flap. This is going to be the second to last race that we ever see DRS in DBF1 now. Round turn 5 Lewis goes, and you've got the narrowing section of 6, 7, 8 and 9 coming up, and Lewis Craig squeaking those brakes on that Aston Martin. Through the section he goes, just got to keep it nice and tight. You hear the music of the Las Vegas Sphere on the left hand side now. Lewis Craig, plenty of battery as he comes through. Now it will be 10 and 11 and then 12 coming up the late braking zone. He brakes beautifully now, swings the car left, and that was wonderful from Lewis Craig, and he's 2 tenths up and might be challenging for the front row of the grid in this qualifying session and getting himself involved in this title battle. Opens up the DRS through turns 13. That's not really a turn, but we'll count it as F1 counting. Now you've got 14, 15 and 16 to come, and this is the last tricky part of the track. Brake very late, avoid the curb on the left, take all the curb on the right and the left again, use the exit, clips the wall. That might cost Lewis around about a tenth of a second as the run up to the line now. He's using that overtake, he's got no battery available to his deployment, improves by 2 tenths but not enough to get on the front row of the grid. I think it's James. He's going to be next up, and then you've got Jordan, and then one of the Red Bulls. It's Jessica Ball next after Jordan. So James now, what will his final run be with the purple helmet in the Mercedes? Absolutely beautiful from the former most improved driver back in season 5. Round the final corner, James will go. It is 13th on the grid at the moment. Moves it up into 12th, but can Jordan say something about that? No, Jordan doesn't improve. That's the best as Jordan will go. Sorry, it wasn't Jess, it was Acorn that went, and he's moved up into 9th place. I think you've got an Alpine of Kieran now. 2nd place, first row of the grid. Bavesser goes 5th fastest. You've got the next McLaren of Chris Johnson who goes 8th, doesn't improve. You had an Audi there. Kamke doesn't improve. Jenga Boy doesn't improve any quicker than 3rd. You've got a Ferrari of Darky that's coming into the pit lane. I think it's only Casper who's not improving on his lap time. Jessica Ball goes 5th fastest. So it's pole for the championship leader in the penultimate race of the season around the Vegas Strip. And he does improve by 1,000th of a second. Just showing that he still was able to find time just at the end there. It's Casper Klein on pole, it's Keenan in 2nd place, and Jenga Boy in 3rd. That is your top 3 for the penultimate round of the championship. 1 point separates Casper and Jenga Boy, with 52 available. Who will be crowned champion by the end of this evening? So, as you see, all the Wales flags except Acorn. We'll let him off as he's got Great Britain. So, it is Casper Klein on pole by less than 1/10 of a second to Kieran on a 30.6. You've got Jenga Boy In third with Lewis Craig joining them on the second row. Jess and Professor 5th and 6th. You've got Camke and Scottish Goat 7th and 8th. Chris Johnson and Acar 9th and 10th with Darky and James on the 6th row. Jordan rounds out the timed finishers. Baza in his penultimate qualifying stuck it in the wall and set no time. We have got 13 laps, ladies and gentlemen, coming your way before we head to Abu Dhabi. The only way this championship ends in this race before we go to the final round of the season is if Jenga Boy retires the car. And no one retires before him, so he'll finish 14th, which will score him a point. Casper would have to win and get the fastest lap. In Dive Bomb, you win the championship by points. Count back, and Casper would win that indeed, no matter what happens in the finale. So a 26-point deficit would mean Casper is champion, and that would be pretty difficult to do. I don't think Jenga Boy will retire, and if he does, it just doesn't need to retire first, and then it will go to the final round. But it's a point going into 2 rounds, and you don't want to be giving Casper any more advantage than you have to. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. We are going to be crowning the 7th different champion of DBF1 in the next few moments. Drivers aren't allowed to ready up on the grid. They've got to wait for Baz's go-ahead. Yeah, 1 point between the top two, 10 points between the top two in the constructors. Jess and Acorn are going to be doing everything they can to be beating Casper and Camke. So that could be helpful to Jenga Boy. And obviously Kieran there wants to win as many Grand Prix as possible. And he's been fairly consistent in recent weeks as the Scottish driver. And if he can keep going and win a race tonight, that would certainly put things into perspective and give Jenga Boy the best opportunity. Obviously Jenga Boy wants to win the Grand Prix and then he would be champion. But if Kieran can win, then that is less points going in Casper's pocket. And we'll see you on the grid when Baza decides it is time to go. There we are, we're on the grid for the penultimate round of Season 7. It's Kieran and Casper on the front row, and it's lights out, and away we go for the second to final time. The 18th time Casper got away well. Jenga Boy now trying to make the move on Kieran, who started on the soft compounded tyre, and Lewis Craig now right on the back of Jenga Boy, and this could throw a spanner into the works of Jenga Boy's title hope. Scottish Goat is already up 4 places and up into P5. Here comes Kieran though for the lead of the Grand Prix, not quite able to do so. Jenga Boy fights off Lewis Craig and hangs on to third. Scottish Goat up to 5th. Camke and Acorn drop the place. Professor all the way down in 8th place. Not a good start for the McLaren driver. Gamer James up into 9th as well. Good start for him. But Darky's up a place. Baza also up 3 places. Jessica Ball is down in last place. Doesn't seem to have any damage. I didn't see that she had left the session either. Maybe she did. She's had connection issues in the past, and that might have been why she wasn't able to go. Kieran is past Casper, but Casper might be able to get back past here. You'd imagine down the straight with no DRS. The only time we won't have a bit of the battery, will be able to do so on the end of lap 1. We will get the tyres and the telemetry up, and yes, Casper now the race leader once more. Anyone else looking to make a move? Scottish Goat was passed by Camke. Getting back past is the Haas into turn 14. They go side by side. They're still battling away, and that is Camke in the wall. He drops places and has damage, and that might be a steward's report coming at the end of the night. That one, Casper, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Of course, he was first across the line. And we have the top 8 bar Kieran all on the soft tyres, medium tyres. It's Kieran on the softs. You got Baza, Chris and James on the hards, and you have Darky on the hards as well. Just stopped. The bottom 2 have stopped, so they must have had damage off the start. Kieran now right on the engine cover of the kick cyber ahead, and Alpine not involved in any championship battles, drivers or manufacturers, but Audi, the kick ahead, involved in both. And you'll have to wait and see what will be on offer. Darky in the wall on the exit of the pit lane. Hopefully he can get the car going. And Kieran now through the fast 9 and 10 into 12 now. You'll get the launch, you'll have a bit of battery and the DRS in a few hundred metres, but by the looks of it, won't even need the DRS, not even an overtake here, just allowing the car to glide. But there goes Jenga, he's got slipstream on both drivers and they could be free wide and get Lewis Craig involved in this battle. Jenga Boy, who needs the points on Casper, leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and Kieran still has to manage for second. Casper's in third and Lewis Craig's all over this battle now, just like he was at Monza, as Casper now trying to retake second place away from Kieran. They go through turn 17, they're side by side, fastest lap for Jenga Boy. Kieran trying to go round the outside. The extra grip on the softs when it turns to the inside might allow him to keep his front winging. Casper leaves the space, which he has to do, and Darky's out of the session. Casper now second place. It's a 7-point swing in favour of Jenga Boy now, and it might be even more, because here goes Kieran down the inside. Casper might have to yield, but he's keeping the kick in position to make a move here. They're still side by side. And Casper now realising that he might be the quickest driver over one lap and the quickest driver we have, but he needs to stay ahead of Kieran because this depends on his championship. Closing the gap now, back to Jenga Boy. Jenga Boy, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, nullifies the 1 point that Casper had in the championship fight. So it is now a 6-point swing in favour of Jenga Boy, but Casper is closing the gap now. Kieran not so close compared to last time, and I think it might be as you were coming into the straight. It's Kieran that's a lot closer to Casper than Casper is to Jenga Boy. Drama further back. It looks like Acorn is going to try to get past Professor but isn't able to do so. And Jess does get past Jordan back into 9th place now. The poor start for Jess has been rectified somewhat. She needs to pick up a few more places though to be happy with her points finish. And the Red Bull sandwiching Kamke, but Casper's points are just allowing Kick to take the lead of this championship battle, as Casper's teammate Kamke has a 10-second time penalty for staying in the pit lane. Now Jenga Boy in the lead, no DRS makes him vulnerable to Casper behind, but a wee bit of a DRS stream forming with the Professor 2.5 behind. Might be able, he's sort of the outsider of the top four that could close the gap, and he might drag Acorn and Scottish Goat along with him into this battle and make it a 7-way battle for the lead. But at the moment it's 4, and Lewis Craig doing a fantastic job to stay in the DRS. Bit of a tank slapper there out of 9 as we come into 10 and 11, and Lewis Craig keeping this as a 4-way battle. Kieran though needs to get them tyres to this lap or the next, and Casper now might be in striking distance here, but we'll have to wait and see. We're on board with Kieran to get the best view of the action before the DRS is even opened on the Cyber. Looks like Casper will get past Jenga Boy and take the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We've had 4 lead changes, 3 different drivers lead a race lap of this Grand Prix, and we're only coming to the end of lap 4 here, and Lewis is right on the back of this battle as he clips the wall like he did in qualifying. Lewis struggling around turn 16. Jenga Boy just needs to try and stick in the DRS of Casper. Can't quite see the telemetry on Casper's wheel, but we can now. Bit more battery actually for Jenga Boy, which is quite surprising. Here he comes though. Oh, a late lunge into turn number 5 maybe from Jenga Boy. He had the car alongside, so Casper has to leave the space. He did. Beautiful driving from both, and then Casper seen that Jenga Boy was alongside and left the space, and Jenga Boy did get the car alongside just in time before the braking zone, and then Scottish Gold put it in the wall while battling Acorn. Acorn almost got past but wasn't able to do so, and in the next few moments should be able to get past. Bevesser has now closed in on the top 4 by 5.5 tenths on this lap alone. Bevesser trying to make this 4-way, a 5-way battle for the race victory, but important information, Jenga Boy almost out of DRS, and that could seal the championship. The detection points here, I don't know if he'll have DRS. He will on this lap. Needs to close up. Casper trying to break the DRS. He's got no battery available. He's got 5%. And a Jenga Boy has 60. Casper vulnerable at this phase of the race. Trying to break the DRS limit. Because if he does that, which he has done, it's 1.4 as he now tries to recharge. As Jenga Boy, the top 4 in, doing the undercut on Casper. Casper doesn't have the battery to recharge, to push on this in lap. Might be undercut here by at least 3 cars. Keenan, on go the mediums. What will it be for Lewis, Craig and Jenga Boy? Hard compounded tyre. So Keenan in the early phase of the second stint will have the advantage again, but when the tyres start to get worn, you'll notice that it'll swing the other way. Jenga Boy needs to stay ahead, or maybe let Keenan pass and support him with a DRS, and Lewis has dropped a second behind Keenan. That might put Lewis out of this Grand Prix in terms of the win or the podium. Lewis picked up 4th last week, that made sure that he won't reach 30 podiums this season. He'd love to get to at least 28 before the next season of DBF1, which isn't here until June. And trying his best, 1.2 now that gap. And when you lose the DRS, it's just so hard to regain it. So the gap to Lewis is 20.8, and we believe the pit lane loss in Las Vegas is 20.5, so he would definitely be undercut by these two battling away as Kieran gets past Jenga Boy when he's on the quicker tyre, and it might be good for Jenga Boy to just get dragged along by Kieran, and Lewis now 21 adrift of Casper as Jenga Boy is going to start coming back here, and yeah, he's ahead, so Jenga Boy gets back ahead. We'll watch Casper, who's in the pit lane now, not been serviced yet. And there you go, on go the softs. So Casper will be the quickest driver on track come the end. And oh my god, he's going to get out ahead. Yeah, the undercut's not worked. And Jenga Boy's on the hards. Casper Klein on the softs. That might have been a stroke of genius. He was quick enough on his in-lap, even with the no battery, to stay ahead, but he's got traffic up ahead, and Baza at this phase in the track will not be easy to overtake, and he won't allow Casper to get past. He's not like that. Baza fights for every moment on the circuit. Kieran there as well, and Lewis Craig not too far behind, 1.2. He's not losing any more time. Can he get back in the DRS, Lewis? Can he make this battle even more interesting than it already is? Jenga Boy so close now to the back of Casper, who has got 7 laps to do on those tyres. Jordan has passed Jess for second place at the moment in time. That's for about 7th or 8th. Baza moves now that he's on the straight, and that should allow Jenga Boy to have an opportunity. Doesn't really help Casper because he loses the slipstream, but stays ahead. And Kieran is Baza slotted just in front of him, which is not helpful for Kieran's Grand Prix, but it might help Lewis as Kieran now trying to get past Baza, and he does able to do so. And Jenga Boy now, is that 8 tenths the gap between him and Casper? That might be. That now is the time where the race is going to be lost at this moment for Jenga Boy. He needs to stay as close as he can for when Casper's tyres fall off the cliff. Lewis Craig 1.2 still behind, and Baza giving Lewis the DRS. Now this is what Lewis needs. He was in the wasn't in the DRS, has the DRS of Baza. If he can get past Baza at a decent part of the track, not here, he's got an opportunity, but the more he's behind the further back it is. And Kieran now out of the DRS just of Jenga Boy. Might be able to get back in it. Jenga Boy's just dropped out of it after turn 9 and needs to get back in it if he's got any opportunity of getting ahead in this race. And the batteries have swapped, so it's now Jenga Boy with half the battery that Casper does. 9 tenths is the gap. We're coming up to the detection. Is it going to be enough? Will he have DRS? No DRS for Jenga, and Kieran does have it on this lap. Lewis Craig got past, but is 2.6 behind. Long way for Lewis to go to catch back up now, and might just have to settle for another P4. Well, it's now what do you do if you're Jenga Boy? You're 1 point behind in the championship. Casper sets the fastest lap, so it was 7. It was 8. Sorry, it's now 9 going into the penultimate, the finale in Abu Dhabi. Do you let Kieran go and try let Kieran catch up, but then risk losing out on a place? That puts you 3 points even more adrift. 12 going into the finale. That's probably unreachable unless Casper finishes 4 for DNFs. But 1.5, that gap isn't going to get any smaller until Casper's tyres go off, and that won't be until at least lap 12 or 13. And Kieran now might be the best opportunity Jenga Boy has at getting back close to Casper at this phase in the race. He might be able to drag Jenga Boy along or battle Casper and slow Casper down. Not using any overtake, he's got no DRS, and Kieran will, regardless if Jenga Boy likes it or not, gets past now. And this is critical moments in this Grand Prix. You need to stick in that DRS. I know it's hard, but you need to stay in the DRS and help each other close the gap up to Casper like you're doing right now. Jenga Boy back ahead, and just don't cost each other any time and drag each other along. The gap is 2.2. They're losing time on Casper, who is very quick on those soft compounded tyres. Acorn past Jordan into turns 16 there. They've got Calmgame's got a penalty and Jess behind, and this battle is turning into something very spicy for 6th place. Look how close they are. Calmgame might get both, and they're 3 wide. Deck swings the car back in front of Jordan. I don't think Jordan will be too happy with that. Acorn trying to go round the outside, not able to do so. Now Jordan trying to go round the outside of Acorn. That would be a move and a half. What a overtake that is for Jordan. Jess now trying to get past Deck, and Deck has lost 3 places in the span of 5 corners. That was fantastic from all involved. The gap is now closed by 5 tenths of a second. James is retired in the pit lane. I think he was struggling in the race. He was boxed early and just wasn't able to catch up, and then no safety cars in the 25%. Unfortunate. I'm excited to see what James can do in DBF2 when that returns in May. He'll be racing against the likes of one Jack Craig in the commentary box tonight. Can't wait to see if we can have plenty of battles. But here comes a battle now. Kieran now ahead of Jenga Boy into turn 14. Lewis Craig has Professor on his tail, 1.6 behind, but has a 10-second penalty, so Lewis has nothing to worry about there. The gap now back to 2 seconds, but with Casper's tyres, you'd presume would start to be failing him about now. Will the second and third be able to catch up and give this race the spice it deserves at the end here? We've got 2.5 laps to go, and the gap is coming down between the top 2. Jordan now round turn number 4. He's 4 tenths adrift of the American ahead, and the season 5 constructors champion Jordan with Haas, with his teammate Tony Parr, who's not here tonight unfortunately, trying to make a move here but not able to do so. Jenga closing in on Kieran. Sorry, I just seen that Scottish got retired and it put me off a wee bit. Scottish got retired in the pit lane. Jenga closing the gap. Casper getting more ahead of Kieran. And just at this phase of the race, you really needed Kieran to close up, but he's just not able to do so. So now it is vital that Jenga finds a way past. He needs to get this points. It's 12 points going into the finale. He needs it to be 9 to stand any chance here of winning. Casper coming third, wins him the title in Abu Dhabi. If he can finish second, if he finishes third, he needs Casper off the podium. That's only happened once all season. There's a car in the wall there. That was the Haas. That must have been Scottish Goat's car coming back out the pit lane as Cam K and Jordan battle away into turn 1. It's Soft versus Cam K's hard. He's been on for 8 laps, so he's done a fantastic job to stick with Jordan and keep battling. Jess now closing in on this battle as well as Kamke gets back past into turn number 5, locks up the front left, avoids the wall just about and is now ahead of Jordan. The Red Bulls 8th and 9th as they'll get ahead of Kamke, but Casper winning the Grand Prix is not what they needed. And I tell you what, folks, Casper's tyres must be gone. There is no way he's lost 1.2 on this lap to Kieran, unless he's made a mistake or he's doing this intentionally. But Jenga tyres seem the best out of the lot because he is closing in on Kieran as well. This is going to be a dramatic end to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Bevesser's going to get past Lewis, who's not really fighting that too much. 1.5 now the gap. Casper's about to cross the line. We have got 1 lap of racing, 6.2 kilometres to go until the end of round 18, the penultimate round of season 7. History awaits at the end of this evening. 1 point separated the top 2 in the championship coming into tonight. The top 2 are first and third in this Grand Prix, and it's in favour of Casper. It's looking like a 12-point swing going into the finale, but they're under a second now. They're in the DRS of the kick ahead, and Jenga might be within a chance here of stealing the victory. This would be one of the greatest ends to a Grand Prix if Jenga can pick up the win. He's clipped the wall, and if Kieran can steal a win, the gap will be 4 points going into the penultimate the finale. This is the penultimate round. This is the final lap. We have got 15 laps of racing. Once this lap is over, it is down to this. Who will win the Las Vegas Grand Prix? Anyone in the top 3 to put your money on. Who would it be? You've only got 5 seconds to decide. Kieran now closing and closing and closing. He's got no battery though to make the move. Casper might have done enough here. The soft tyres have gone, but will they be good enough to get him to the end? Kieran's gone deep. He's clipped. He's blocked up both front tyres and he's gone deep. He almost put it in the wall but just avoided it, and it didn't even look like it was done on purpose. It looked like it was accidental. Jenga Boy's going to come home in second. Casper wins in Vegas. Jenga Boy comes second. Kieran comes third and crashes over the line, and will actually pick up a penalty for that. So for crashing across the line. Lewis Craig in second. Fourth, Bevesser fifth after his time penalty. Cam K crosses the line sixth, but it will be Jordan in sixth, Jessica Ball in seventh, Acorn in eighth, with Cam K in ninth. He ended up finishing 10th. Baza got him as well in the end there, and Chris, when he eventually comes round, will be 11th. Well. Baza needs to give me a couple of moments and I will get the points done for that race. I believe it is 4 points, but we will just confirm it. And we ran through your order anyway, as you've seen, and I will be with you when Baza gives the go-ahead for short qualifying in Abu Dhabi. go anywhere. Go get your cups of tea, go get your biscuits, and get ready because you've got about 2 minutes before we get going for the next qualifying. The championship battle is still on. Well, hello, welcome back. We are here for the final qualifying of the DBF1 season. We have got the championship battles of all championship battles brewing up. We have got Casper Klein 8 points ahead of Jenga Boy coming into this final Grand Prix. Both drivers in with a chance of winning this title here. And we also have Red Bull and Audi battling away to become champions of the constructors, and that is a 5-point lead. Sorry for the hiccup. 5-point lead, swinging Kick Sauber's way. So, who will be crowned champions come the end of this evening? Sauber, last time they were champions was back in season 4. That was Green Bean and myself. We were the the constructors champions back in season 4. Red Bull have never won a DBF1 constructors championship. I think this would be the first time they've ever done it. I'll quickly get the champions list up just to make sure. Yeah, so in the past you've had Ferrari 1 season 1, McLaren 1 season 2, Racing Bulls or AlphaTauri 3, Alfa Romeo, which is obviously Sauber 1-4, Haas 1-5, and then Racing Bulls 1-6. The only driver that's ever won 2 constructors championship is Damien Green Bean. He was obviously the season 4 champion and the most dominant champion in DBF1 history. Casper in the last Grand Prix, barring obviously there'll be any stewards reports, at the moment until the classification, has equalled the all-time win record of Dive Bomb Sports. He has 12 race victories now. He is level with Damien Green Bean, so a bit of history there being broken, and he is now third all-time in pole positions. He's the third driver to be in double digits. You've got Darky with 14 pole positions, Alistair on 10, and Casper on 10 as well. So joint second, but Alistair did it first, so second place. So a bit of history for Casper tonight. Jess got into the top 10 on podiums a couple of weeks ago, which we mentioned, but Lewis Craig was close to 28 but not able to do so. Looks like Casper has put himself, Jenga Boy has put himself up into the top 5 for podiums all time as well, so congratulations to Jenga Boy if he doesn't win the championship. And Cam K on his lap now will be the first driver to set a time, barring any invalidation, as he comes round now the final few corners. Round turn 16 now uses all the racing road available, and that is provisional pole as it stands. Looks like Lewis Craig will be next. That's only second quickest, about a tenth off, and here comes Jess, smashes it again. Provisional pole for her. Gamer James now next up to cross the line. Been a frustrating old season for James. Someone we're grateful for. He's here making sure that we have plenty of drivers racing, but it's been frustrating, not had any luck or things go his way. But in that DBF2 championship coming in May, you'd expect he'd be one fighting for podium places. Jordan, I think we've got Acorn just starting a lap. And then is it Jenga Boy just starting a lap as well? Yes. Kind of hard. I think it's Jordan that's next to cross the line on the mediums. That's sixth quickest. With Vesser invalidation. Chris Johnson now finishing his lap. He's invalidated and is still going for some reason. Just maybe trying to see what he would set. It was quicker than Jordan's medium time by over half a second, so quick from him. And I think we'll stick with Jenga. See what his banker lap time is going to be here in Abu Dhabi from the Discord. I think he was backing himself to to do okay around this track. It wasn't one of the worst ones. He got the worst ones out of the way. Obviously, will feel he doesn't have the pace of Casper, but he's got to believe it's 8 points the gap. He just needs one more race win to his name and hope that someone can be second other than Casper Klein, and then he's champion of DBF1. Many obviously say he should have been the season 6 champion after 6 rounds, led the way, 136 points. He had a 50-point gap over the field and had to leave the league, but he returned and dominated again, and he's been very good this season as he comes round turn 16 now at his provisional pole and the first in the 22s. Casper Klein he's actually not using any battery, so if he beats him, Jenga Boy, this is going to be pretty disturbing. We're on board through 15 and now 16, using the curb, plucks the bollard, and that will be into the top 10. No battery used on that lap, maybe just doing a heat lap, an extra out lap to get the softs into the better conditions. Obviously it is night time here in Abu Dhabi, so the track conditions will be colder, the track temperature. He's 3 temps up through the first sector, but a big lock up coming into turn number 5 now as he goes down the back straight. We'll open up the DRS for Casper. And then off overtake fairly early as he gets to his top speed of 331 kilometers an hour. Through the chicane now, back on the throttle as early as you possibly dare. Opens that DRS, sinks the battery down. You'll see what is split 2 times goes up as Kieran goes pole provisionally by 2 tenths of a second. Casper 1.3 up, that puts him at a 23.5, and he needs 1 second through the final sector, which you'd imagine he'd get using the battery and his full ability. The 2 out laps now as he goes through the hotel of 13 and 14 now. Avoid the wall on the right hand side. He just about avoids that. That was so close to putting it into the Latifi corner. Around 16 he goes now, down the little banking and into 3rd place. Only into the 23 ones. I think that lockup at turn number 5 must have cost Casper at least a tenth or 2. Very quick Casper is, and being on the podium every single race bar one, you'd imagine should be able to get himself into the 22s fairly soon. Darky has just gone 5th. That's a good lap from Darky, the best pole position record of all time. He's the best qualifying driver we've ever had, statistically speaking. And Lewis Craig has just come to the end of sector 1. And he's at 1.4 off the pole time. You'd imagine Lewis could get around where Jess is, at least, if he can't get into the 22s. Fairly good around Abu Dhabi, Lewis. He's had some bad qualifying sessions, but some great races in other leagues, and you'd imagine Lewis Craig will be one. He should be qualifying a bit higher than P7, but you'll have to wait and see in a few moments' time. And he is finding 3 temps, which would put him around Darky. If you can find some more time in the final sector, that would be great. Get him around Jess and Casper as he comes up now to turn 12 as we're on board through 13 under the hotel for 14. Avoid the wall on the right hand side, a lot better than Casper does. Now 15 and 16, and then you have a little bit of a traction zone to go until the start finish line on the power, on the battery, and that is only 6th quickest for Lewis after half a second of improvement. Is there more time in that Mercedes? You'll have to find out soon. James improving now. He's actually decided to come into the pit lane. Jordan improving, but he's not really far around on his lap. Jess Ball, is she finding time as she comes down into the first sector? I think there's cars a lot further round than her. I think it's Jordan that's next. Everyone else is on out laps. So we'll stick with Jordan on the mediums, doing a couple of runs, maybe not at the practice he would have liked. He has mentioned on the team radio that he's too used to project cars, so Practicing the wrong game as Jordan, getting used to the new game, or the old one. Old ones are much better, but that's enough about Project Card. He gets out the way of the kick sour and round the final corner. The 86 on the engine cover of that Williams looks very smooth. I like it indeed. He doesn't find any time as Chris Johnson is coming up to the line now, round the final corner. Goes 12th quickest. And Jess is now the next driver, unless yes, Jess not finding any time though, and coming back into the pits. So it will be Acorn that's next, but he's not finding any time. But Jenga isn't quite far round, so we'll stick with Acorn to see if he can find anything in the third sector. Heavy braking zone into 12. Nice and tight to the apex for 13, and 14 goes deck now. A lot of deployment to play with as well in this final section of the lap. Saving it for the downhill banking, and now it is only 11th fastest, but with improvement in time. Jenga Boy, 2/10 of a second he needs to find for pole. Is he going to find that on this lap? Not quite, no improvement in time. And his front row is going to have to do for him for the time being in second place. Bevesser now. Into the third sector goes the chrome-styled McLaren. Joined late in the season as well, did Bevesser, as Casper has now begun his second run of the night. Here comes Bevesser on the run up to the line. That's only 9th quickest, so not as quick as I thought Bevesser would be around here. And now your championship leader, 8 points he has to his advantage, only has to finish in second place, and he is the DBF1 champion. Obviously if he finishes second and Jenga Boy wins, they would be equal on points, but then Casper would win on countback. And he goes purple through sector 2 and is finding enough time at the time being to go on to provisional pole with over 5 minutes to go in this qualifying. If it's not this stab, he might get one more stab at the apple. Round the final couple of corners, don't invalidate on the final track. He takes it cautiously, and it is provisional pole. What a lap time that is, and that has laid down the marker. But now Kieran is next. He's not finding any time either. Oh, and he's invalidated. He wasn't finding any time anyway. Just wants to get back into the pits and reset. Kamke going quicker, Bevesser not. Kamke, only car on track that has the potential to improve his lap time. As you see, the front wing of the Sauber now opens up the DRS, as you can finally see it's off the front wing. Steaming down one of the straights, and it's 2.5 tenths improvement, which would put him onto the second row if he can continue the good form. Imagine he'll be able to do that. Very good driver is the American, been in that sort of best of the rest category alongside Lewis Craig and Jess multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Oh, big squirrely moment, and he has to come into the pit lane, maybe thinking he can go even faster. If he did that lap, he wouldn't actually have made it back for another run. As Casper coming into the pits now, surely? Yeah, so everyone about to be in the pit lane before we get that rush, and then before 15 laps. And then is that who I think it is? No, it's Scottish Goat. Yeah, 3 minutes to go. That'll be your end of your final qualifying of this season, and then you've got 15 laps to enjoy of championship battle. Jenga. Does he want it to just be the top three? Does he want Kieran to get involved and be in between him and Casper? Does he want more? Does he want Lewis to be involved? Does he want Jess to be involved? These are the questions that are going to be answered. The more you think would be the merrier, but then there's the more opportunity you don't win. If you don't win, you need a 9-point swing. So that's a big ask for Casper to finish any lower than third. And Jenga Boy has got a lot of work coming his way. A 9-point swing. In the grand scheme of things, if you win the race and he comes third, well, I'm champion. But all it takes is Casper to finish second, you win, and that is you. You're level on points with the champion, but don't win due to count back. And then in DBF1, if the count back's the same, we fall back on points per race, and Casper would win that as well. Scottish Goat, though, starting his final qualifying run of the season now. We are watching the Ferrari, the Haas, into turn one he goes now, looking fairly smooth. Through 2, up the hill towards 3, round the bend, which is 4, and then late heavy braking, unless your name Max Verstappen, into 5. Don't lock the front tyres like Casper did originally on his first run. Get the slipstream on that McLaren, which is not massive, but a little bit will help. And now, all the way down the back straight of this 5.5 kilometre track. Brake late as you dare into 6. Turn the car, misses the apex, so it wasn't too clean for 6. Through 7 now, get on the power, open up that DRS for the second time this lap. And now it's all about how brave you are. Round number 9, he goes, turn number 9. Swings the car in, swoops round. That's number 10 coming up his way, and then you've got turn 11 in just a few metres now, and then brake as heavy as you can into 12. Get the car rotated for 13 and 14, which is underneath the casino section. Don't clip the ball on the right hand side, which he avoids. Now, it's only 15 and 16 to go, and that is qualifying done for the season for the Haas driver. Scottish Goat on his final time, only 8th fastest. Found improvement though. Now, it's trying to find who crossed the line next. I think it was Lewis Craig. Jenga Boy's in the final sector. This might be his last lap. Yeah, there's Jenga Boy going across the line. There might be a Red Bull up ahead of Acorn. No, I think Jess is just beginning her up. So Jenga Boy in the championship fight only goes third quickest. That is the best that they have. Baza just starting his lap. I think it's Lewis Craig next now. He's finding a 10th of a second. Can he get himself onto the second row of the grid here? He's on the third. Can he at least beat Darky? Lewis Craig coming round the final few corners now. 8 DBF1 wins, and it is the second row of the grid, at least for the time being. I think there's a Red Bull. Is it Acorn? Yeah, he's coming around the final corner. Then it's James. Then it's Darky. Acorn, 10th quickest. Where is Darky? James goes 11th quickest. Darky does improve, but not enough. Jessica Ball. I think Kieran's actually further round. Not finding time though. Kieran not improving. His best lap was set on his original run. Around the final corner he goes. Finds a 10th. He's only second quickest. Jess isn't improving. Camke goes 6th fastest. Bevesser now. It's Bevesser, then Jess, then Casper Klein. Bevesser round the final corner. Goes 9th quickest. Jess not improving. Casper not improving in the pits. Knows he doesn't need any time. Baza. Oh, he's invalidated on his final ever qualifying night. It's his final 2 races, and no time setting either. He'll be devastated with that. And Baza hopefully just goes round and maybe does a couple of donuts. No, he decides to come into the pit lane. And heartbreaking for Baza there. And hopefully his final race goes a bit better than his 2 final qualifyings. But obviously Baza, we thank him for all the contributions he's made to the league and the dedication he's shown over 7 years. 104 Grand Prix starts once we get going in a few moments. 1 win, 1 podium, and it's been a great honour to have him as one of the league members. The backbone, and he'll always be welcome for a return if he sees fit. But Casper Klein, 8-point lead in the championship, takes pole position for the final race of the season. It's Kieran in second with Jenga Boy in third. Jenga Boy needs to outscore Casper by 9 or more points to be crowned champion. Lewis in fourth again with Jess in fifth. Camke sixth. Darky seventh. Scottish Goat eighth. Professor ninth. And Acorn rounds out the top 10. Chris Johnson and Jordan 11th and 12th with James 13th and Baza the only driver not to set a time lap. And we have got 15 laps coming up your way in a few moments' time. "25 or so minutes to decide who will be the champion of the league. It's lights out and away we go for the final time. And it's a good start from Casper. Jenga Boy got away okay and is up into second already. That is what he needed off to start. Down to third. Lewis Craig fourth. Camke trying to stay ahead of Jessica Ball, which would win them the Constructors' Championship. And they stay ahead. Jessica Ball down into 8th place. Got caught up there in some drama. Jenga Boy now looking to make a move at the Verstappen corner as the light begins to fade. The sun sets on season 7 of DBF1 as these two all season hammer and tong, and now Jenga Boy needs to win the Grand Prix to be the champion. Into turn number 6 they go. He leads and Lewis Craig sneaks down the inside of Kieran as well, but Kieran stays ahead. So Jenga Boy leads the way from Casper Klein. This is enough for Casper to be champion, but it won't be if Kieran gets down the inside, and he does. He's pushing Casper wide now, and the Scotsman doing everything he can this whole season to be involved in the drama and the battle to win the championship. And this makes Jenga Boy champion. He's leading from Kieran and then Casper Klein. Casper needs to be in the top 2 to be champion. The point swing is 8. It's currently 10 in favour of Jenga Boy, which means he is champion by 2 points. And that will be 3 once he crosses the line, because it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Wow, what a start to the Grand Prix. Casper was in pole, Jenga Boy in third. They flopped round, and now Jenga Boy has the advantage and could be crowned champion at the end of the evening. Lewis Craig had a moment coming out of turn 11, and that put him under pressure and almost out the race. But he's got Darky all over his rear wing now, and Darky, who's not had the best of seasons, this might actually be the first season he doesn't win a race for about 3 seasons in a row now, and he is not close enough to Lewis to make a move. But now here comes Kieran trying to make a move on Jenga Boy. He'll have the TRS opened. Not close enough to make the move, you would say. He's too far back. And Casper, biding his time on the mediums now, sets a purple sector 2. If this is the fastest lap, it will mean there's 1 point at the end of the championship night. They started 1 point in favour of Casper. It might end 1 point in favour of Jenga. Lewis has been passed by Darky. That was after the straights, because Lewis was ahead going into 9, so that was around about turn 10. And Bevesser looking to get involved in this battle too, as the top 5 seem to be losing touch. Now Jenga Boy sets the fastest lap again. That was quicker than Casper's lap. Lewis in the pits. Is this a front wing change? Well, I think it was meant to be a front wing change, and they've not done it. So Lewis Craig will be screaming down the microphone right about now. That only really makes sense if you come in and swap the wing, but they never. So Lewis has got a long way to go, or a second stop ahead. Now, 6 tenths of gap between the top 2, so Casper might be in striking distance to make a move here for second place. Not quite close enough. Acorn gets past James, that's for 10th place. Now back to the front, they're so close together, and surely now they're going to be 3 wide into turn number 9. What will Jenga Boy do? He stays on the racing line, which he's entitled to do. That means Casper has to go the long way round, and back ahead of Kieran goes Casper. Advantage back to the Kick Cyber, but now here goes Kieran round the outside of 11 and 12, but there'll be no room to make the move there. Advantage Casper in the championship fight once again. We have got a long race to go. If this is what it's going to be like until at least the pit stop phases, it's going to be action packed. And now Casper takes the lead of the championship and gets the fastest lap. So that is a 9-point swing. Sorry, an 8-point swing in Casper's favour. That means the season will end on level points, and Casper would win on countback. I believe Casper has 6 race wins to his name this season. Jenga Boy has 2, possibly 3. I think it's 2. And then Lewis Craig has come in and retired because he knows he had to stop again and get a new front wing, and that's understandable from Lewis Craig there. He shouldn't really give up, but with no safety cars, it's just wasting his time. Unfortunately, as Professor now gets past Darky, who's got so much wing damage as well, but just not able to do that. Here he goes though, the top 2 are looking for battling again, not able to. Professor and Darky still battling away. And that gap out in front, 3.5 tenths now. You've got Kieran as well, still involved, and you'd imagine he'll be involved all race long. And if you're Jenga Boy, you need Kieran involved in this battle, because you need to win, and you need Kieran to be second, or anyone to be second, but you need Kieran to be involved. And he goes deep there, does Kieran, as Chris and Cam K-Mam battling away further back. You don't want Kieran to not be involved in this battle, because you want the chat. You don't want him to just be like, oh right, Casper's in the title fight, I'll sit back and just let Casper be second, then he's champion. You want Kieran to try win this race, but Casper is trying. He's closing up, biding his time now. Turns the car left, should in theory get a better run out the turn 7 as James is retired from the session. And here we go now. This is for the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Jenga Boy going to fight this as best as he can. You can see to the right, Casper's just got the run on him here, but Jenga's starting to fight it back and not able to do so. And for the time being, Casper leads the way in Abu Dhabi, and that would 100% crown him champion. But Jenga Boy does have the DRS coming, and Jenga Boy's in. He's going to be going hard to the end now, trying to do the undercut and go early. Will Casper do what he did in Vegas and go long and stop for the soft compound? Have to wait and see. There's almost a second between Casper and Kieran. Nice quick service from the boys for the Racing Bulls, and Casper now 1 second advantage and sets a purple sector 1. This is the lap time he needs to stay ahead. It's going to be difficult, but if he can get the job done, that would be fantastic. Now Darky under pressure with the wing damage. Can Jess Ball get past? Looks like she's going to try go down the inside, but had a second think about it. Darky might be under pressure now from Jess. Definitely going to be a pass this time round. And yeah, that's her ahead. Does Casper come into the pitch? Yes, he is covering off Jenga Boy's stop. Was it quick enough? Was Jenga Boy's outlap quick enough? Was it clean enough to retake the lead? Kieran going long and then put on the softs would spice up this Grand Prix absolutely massively. Crosses the line to begin his 7th lap. It's the fastest third sector. They're going to be so close. And it looks like Jenga Boy might just get ahead here. Oh, they're side by side, but he's ahead. Jenga Boy comes out ahead of Casper, but Casper will have the DRS. But the undercut worked. Casper had to box, he had to cover it off, and he's behind now, but he's close enough that it shouldn't really matter. He will have to heat up the tyres, but he's got the DRS and might get back ahead before we get to the end of the straight here. He's closing and closing. The gap is close, but not quite close enough. He knows where he wants to make the move, and that is into turn number 9. Oh, what a run the Finnish man has here. He's so close to making a move. Jenga Boy goes all the way to the right, saying, if you're going to overtake me, you have to go such a long way around. But Jenga Boy back down the inside, which he's entitled to do. He had the car alongside. He's trying so hard. He's fighting this with everything he's got here tonight. And someone that put himself down in the chat so much, saying he didn't have it in him to win the title. He's got so much pace tonight, and he's done everything in his power to have the opportunity. He finished second at Vegas, kept him in it realistically, and he just needs to win to be champion. One night, one race to be champion. He needs to win and hope Kieran comes second. Into turn 1 he goes. He forces the kick cyber wide, and it's a clean move, and into the lead goes Jenga Boy. But Casper now into turn 5. Is he able to make the move? Not wanting to. And wow, we've had championship battles decided at Abu Dhabi. Vettel, Alonso, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Norris, Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. We've got Casper and Jenga Boy, and Casper now leads into turn 6 and 7. You've got the kink of 8, and can Jenga Boy make the move into 9th place? They'll both come out ahead of Kieran. They'll both have a big gap, but he will be on the soft and can go to the end on them. Will he be involved in this battle to spice it up? Here comes Jenga Boy back round the outside. We have got 8 and a bit laps to go here until the end of this Grand Prix. The lights and the sun are Dylan, it's getting dark around here. That means that the fireworks are going to be going off soon. But who will be champion? They've got the Haas of Baza up the road. 1 second. That could be crucial. If Jenga Boy can get the DRS, that might allow him to stay ahead of Casper that little bit longer. Kieran going so long. So we figured out you're about 22 seconds for a pit stop. They're both going to be about 4 seconds ahead. But is that 4 seconds enough to stay ahead when Kieran comes out on the soft compounded tyres? Jenga Boy, most definitely. The dirty air affecting him at the moment, especially on this game. But the DRS will mean he's so quick. Baza moves out the way and gets back in the way, really, after giving Jenga Boy the DRS. Shouldn't really fight it too much now. Casper might try in the inside of 6. Thinks better of it here. And now Jenga Boy leads. Won't have the DRS this time round. It will be Casper sitting duck time for Jenga Boy. But we're completing lap 9. It'll be 10 with 5 to go. 6 to go. Down the inside. If Jenga Boy can hang on to this, it would be wonderful. They're side by side. Don't make contact. That will be a warning for Casper, you'd imagine. Looked like all 4 were off the racetrack. And maybe forced off by Jenga Boy there, but... well, and there you go. Kieran into the pits now. This is critical. He does the opposite. Casper just decided to match Jenga Boy. Didn't want to give Jenga Boy any advantage. As Casper sets the fastest lap. And the undercut worked. Kept him close. And Casper did get back ahead fairly quickly. And they've swapped since. And a deck. Max Verstappen move from Jenga Boy and he's made contact. No! Devastating for Jenga Boy. He got desperate too early. And now Kieran's right behind. Kieran's actually so close. I don't know if Casper slowed down there or not. Oh, now Jenga Boy's gone into the back of him and has got wing damage. Oh, this is going to end in the steward's room. You can just see it. It was brilliant from lap 0, lap 1 to lap 10 to lap 9. It was beautiful, beautiful driving, and it was just perfect. But lap 10, it's just all gone to chaos. And Kieran now is involved in this battle. He's a lot closer than he should have been. I think Jenga Boy went deep at turn 5, hit Casper, and Casper obviously wouldn't have been too happy with that. But it looked like Casper slowed down on the unless Jenga Boy just caught him, as Kieran now, round the outside of both, leads in the final race of the season. Kieran leads on the softs. You've got Jenga Boy, then Casper in third. Will the softs go to the end? Will they have the grip? And look at the gap he's pulling on Jenga Boy already. Kieran, master stroke of strategy there. Oh, and it's just heartbreaking to see that the damage has come on Jenga Boy's car. He is ahead, but is it enough? He's already done 5 laps on those hard compounded tyres. He'll have the DRS now. And I suppose they've made contact twice. I don't know if Casper has damage. Jenga definitely does. I think we just ignore the fact they've made contact. And if it gets reported, it gets reported. That'll be decided later on. We just focus on the driving and racing now. And who finishes where. And see who's champion. Not the way we wanted the season to come to a close. It was beautiful for 9.5 laps. In the 10th lap, it just got a bit too hot. The pressure was boiling. And I suppose when you've had no contact between the top 2... for basically the whole season bar Austria, it was always going to get spicy at some point. And Kieran now is keeping Jenga Boy within the DRS. He's not extending that gap like Casper was able to do so. And I know the softs do go off pretty quick around here. I do know that, as I've done a bit of practice. And they do go off fairly quickly, but not this early, so I don't think he'll be struggling too much. But of course, the championship ends as Casper is champion if he finishes in the top 2. No matter what happens, if he's in the top 2, he is champion. If he's third and Jenga Boy doesn't win, then he's champion. Jenga Boy, with Casper in third, needs to win. And it looks like he's going for second here now. Down the inside into turn 6 into the chicane. Jenga Boy was able to get back ahead, but the switchback was just textbook. And into second place and to champion-elect at the time being, we have got 3 and a sector to go. Jenga Boy, with that damage, just needs to hang on to this DRS here. He really does. Give himself a chance. You don't know what's going to happen in the stewards room later on. Win the Grand Prix. That is what you can do. Win the Grand Prix. I know it's so hard. Without damage. With damage it's even more difficult. But win this Grand Prix. Hope Casper finishes third and then leave it in God's hands. It's been such a great season from both. Kieran as well. Only done 10 races, but he's been fantastic. And maybe in 3 months he'll be involved when we change the regulations. There'll be no DRS. The regulation change coming into effect in Season 8. Will Kieran be able to deal with those changes and still be as quick as he is and fight for the championship? Only time will tell, but it's all about the 2.5 laps we have remaining here. Jenga Boy is still in the DRS of Casper, so there's still hope here on lap 13 for the Racing Bulls driver. But as the laps tick on, as the sectors pass, it's fading away. And the championship is heading to Finland. It's heading to car 72. It's heading to Casper Klein. But anything can happen in DBF1. And I know this race we've not watched much of the midfield pack, and I apologise for that. But it's all about this battle. Bevesser 3 seconds back, doesn't look like he's going to be involved. Penultimate lap of the championship. 19 Grand Prix all come down to these 2 laps. And can Casper now take the lead off Kieran? Jenga Boy is closing. This, like Las Vegas, is going to get spicy. It's going to be a last lap sprint. Casper leading on to lap 15 might not be the best thing for Casper. Casper will know that. And he sits back. He's done this a few times. Sits back. Oh, he's locked up! Casper locked up. And he's gone over the sausage curb. Jenga Boy was almost past. And he's under huge pressure now. Is Casper. You just caught a glimpse of it at the end. You've seen the tyre smoke. He locked up into turn 6. Seems to be okay. Kieran's gone deep around 9 and into 10. Oh, for a moment there, I thought he was going straight on. I don't think Casper was going to get the car turned, but he did. It was such a terrible camera angle, but you just seen the smoke absolutely puff off the front left. And for some reason, it just looked like the car was going to go straight on. Last lap, Abu Dhabi comes to a close. Season 7 will come to a close at the end of 5.5 kilometres. This championship has gone the distance, folks. Who will be crowned champion at the end of this lap? At the moment, it's advantage Casper, doing what he needs to do. But less than a second covers the top 3. We have got half a lap, ladies and gentlemen, to see who will be DBF1 champion. Casper leads on the last lap, but here comes Kieran. Into turn 6, he breaks deep, Casper locks up again. Kieran now will get the run. He's done what Casper's done to the other drivers multiple times over the last few laps, and they bang wheels, and Jenga Boy's going to try and get involved here. But it's not going to be enough. He's run out of laps. He's run out of corners. He needs a miracle. Casper's trying to win the race, but you don't need to do that. Oh, he's trying to win the race. Casper, just win the championship. You don't need to do that. The fireworks are going to be going off for Kieran. He's going to win his 5th Grand Prix. Round the final corner, Kieran goes. Oh, and they've made contact, but Casper wins. And Casper is the DBF1 World Champion for Season 7. What a season it's been. And Jenga Boy has run him close all summer. Spring. All spring he's run him close. The fireworks are going off on the pit straight, you can hear. They ran him close, Jenga Boy and Racing Bulls. They did everything they could. 14 points. It finished in the end in favour of Casper Klein. He won the race. And he is the DBF1 Season 7 champion. All the way to the finish it was. It was exciting, it was entertaining, it was absolutely bedlam. But he done it in the end. He's finished on the podium in every race bar one. Jenga Boy did everything he could to be champion tonight. You've seen it there. He's done him and his team proud, but it just wasn't enough for Jenga Boy. Commiserations to him for the time being. I imagine we've got a few stewards reports coming, unfortunately, but at the moment, at least for the stream, Casper is your world champion. Congratulations to him. And for the 7th time, we've got a 7th different winner. He wins in Abu Dhabi. He wins the title. Do we have investigations to come? We'll have to wait and see. We'll run through what the final race order was as well. But they celebrate on the podium like they've won it. They've won the race at least. And he's handled the pressure fantastically. They win the constructors as well. So congratulations to Kick Cyber, Casper and Kamke. They have won the Constructors' Championship. Casper won the Grand Prix from Jenga Boy. Kieran rounded out the podium. Bavesser 4th in a good race for him. Kamke in 5th, confirmed that they won the Constructors title. Scottish Goat in 6th, Jess only managed 7th with Chris in 8th. Acorn in 9th. Baza rounded out the top 10 in his final ever race. Congratulations to Baza. Jordan in 11th. Darky DNF'd on the last lap with James and Lewis Craig, the only other retirees. What a season of DBF1. 7 seasons. Who would have known we have come this far? And everyone that's been a part of the journey, we thank you. We have got season 8 coming in June. It will be the final ever season of DBF1 in season 8. So please, this summer, sign up. Regulation change coming. F126 cars in the summer. And we have got 10. Sorry, it's not even 10 rounds. It's 6 weeks, 12 rounds. It's going to be absolutely great. And one final go at it for history. And maybe the first ever repeat champion. But that is it from me. Make sure you are paying attention to the Twitter. And we will see who is crowned champion. It looks like it's going to be Casper pending any steward reports. There was some drama on those final 5 laps. But at the moment, Casper Klein wins the Season 7 championship. Kick Cyber are your Constructors champions. And we will see you again soon for DBF2.